Welcome back to our show, your show, Let's Talk Stocks. And here in studio with me this morning is Mr. Micheal Mullings. He's CEO and founder of Chatflow Limited. And I like the sound of that. We're going to be chatting about that today. Micheal, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you, Sir Neilson. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Chatflow Limited. Talk to me. What is that? Chatflow. What are we flowing on?
Oh, we're flowing on great customer support. So really, the genesis of my company is around, eliminating the wait times for customer support. What does that mean? So ideally, we're leveraging AI because we understand the nuances of customer support here locally. Recently I said to a shareholder, the biggest challenge that we have in Jamaica is, not having great customer support.
Absolutely true.
Yeah, so we're using AI to eliminate those wait times and make Caribbean businesses more omni-channel. What do I mean? We have an over-reliance on voice-based customer support, which is over the phone, and there's a need to expand into your digital channel, whether it be directly from your website or across social media. We know that 78% of Jamaican consumers are digitally enabled, which means they're online. So why allow them to wait so long over the phone? So our goal is to ensure that we serve the customers in that underserved channel.
All right. Chatflow. How long has the company been in existence?
Well, technically, we've been in existence for 11 months, but the business itself has been a decade in the making, I would say.
You just won the Jamaica Stock Exchange's pitch room competition.
That's correct.
At conference.
Correct.
Talk to me about that experience and what was it like for you, going into the competition and how has it changed, if anything, since conference?
Great question. I think it's a great experience as a startup founder going in and winning that competition. But it's a long story in terms of the preparation. I have to lift my hands and say thanks to RevUp Caribbean. They played a crucial role in my development as what they would say a great CEO. So learning how to pitch and all the nuances that go into that is from RevUp Caribbean, and I'm proud to be a graduate of Cohort 5 to represent not just RevUp but First Angels Jamaica. And that opportunity solidified itself, based on the preparation that they have given me. It's only the proof is in the pudding, as my mother would say.
Micheal, you're a young CEO.
Yeah.
In the technology, very digital field, a very competitive field. Talk to me about what that feels like in a Jamaica where, and you notice my hands, where they accuse the youth of idling, sitting on the sidewalk, rubbing out their hands. What does that feel like for you? A young CEO charting uncharted courses.
That's a great point. I think let's go back to the genesis. So when I left university after my first degree, I couldn't get a job. And I spent around 6 months looking, and the opportunity that presented itself to me was the BPO. And that's where I got my start. It didn't start out in software development or AI. Yes, I'm a trained engineer, but for me, I'm the one that likes to capitalize on opportunity. My mom and dad would say, the devil find works for idle hands. And I didn't want to be in that category. So, I found myself in a BPO and I fell in love. Even though I'm a very technical person, I stood up and took an opportunity to earn an honest living because those opportunities are here. But it doesn't mean that's the all and be all for you. Because now, 14 years later, I'm the CEO of a startup. I'd never envisioned myself to be in this position, but being an engineer for me, it's about solving problems. And I saw that instead of complaining about why we're exporting great customer support and the businesses here locally don't have it, I thought to myself, why not create a solution and be a first mover in that space?
How has conference, opened doors for you? I mean, you won the pitch room competition. You're kicking down doors now?
Well, it's not so kicking down doors. It's having hands to answer all the phone calls coming in. It's created a great opportunity for traction for the business, not just from the customer standpoint, but from investors as well. So the opportunity itself is phenomenal, and I would encourage any new startup founder to take up this opportunity come next year when the conference is on to pitch and get in front of investors and potential customers.
I like that part especially, Micheal, because, you're an engineer. You're never going to just sit down. That you're taught to find solutions to issues, and you did that. But more importantly, you found yourself in front of investors. you're building out a network. How would you advise, other young entrepreneurs looking to build a business, looking to build a brand? Is it a good thing to find yourself, not just at the JC conference, which is a great conference, by the way,
Agreed.
but other spaces where, entrepreneur investors might be sitting so doors can be opened?
I think it's very important because that you find yourself in a space where investors are. Why? Because two, you may not have all the growth capital up front yourself. And you will get to a point where the financing that you have will run out. And you have to be able to, one, be investor ready, which is why I went to Rev Up Caribbean, which is very, very important to get to that stage to, put yourself in a position to get that growth capital. One, you need traction, which is very important. And traction doesn't necessarily mean a lot of sales. It means that you've proven that your product works and it solves a crucial problem. So first you need to build, and then you need to set yourself up to be investor ready by understanding what the investors are looking for, what is key to the traction to your particular solution. And then go and talk to them, go and knock on the doors. I've gotten over 150 different no's from emails and phone calls that have not been answered, but that's okay. It's a part of the journey. You have to keep going.
And that persistence seemed to be now paying off, pointing you in the right direction. But let's talk a little bit more about this solution.
Sure.
Chatflow. First of all, how you came up with the name?
It was not paying homage to Flow, but the whole idea came to me around the name as it relates to the fact that our chat conversations don't flow when it comes down to customer service. So it's homage to that, creating a better flow to serve customers better. Yeah, so that's where the name came from.
All right. And the solution, if you can talk more about it and how it will help both businesses and consumers, and why businesses should come to you.
It's a great point. So ideally, as I mentioned earlier, we know that 78% of Jamaican consumers are digitally enabled. It means they're on their phone and they're on WhatsApp. Or they want to go to your website to see if your business is legit. That's the first thing they're going to do before they pick up the phone. So why not interact with them on that point? So for instance, for a website channel that most businesses have, we do have a chatbot that you can use on your website to communicate effectively. But the beautiful thing about our chatbot, unlike our competitors, we understand patois. We speak every single Caribbean Creole, which is one of our unique selling points. And we're able to understand those nuances because of what we call our sentiment engine. And our sentiment engine allows us not just understand what the customer issue is and how to serve them better, but to proactively take control of the conversation, to provide them with the solution. And that, for us, gives our business leaders the opportunity to go beyond CSAT and NPS. Because now you have more insights on what the customer's emotions are to help you plan and effectively better manage your customer journey on the digital side. Because it's really underused at this point, in my opinion.
You made a point there. Your chatbot is able to understand the different speech patterns across the region. You say Caribbean Creole.
Yes.
Can they understand the St. Elizabeth man different from the Kingston man?
Yeah. And that's the whole point, because most customers, when they're upset, they're going to forget their Queen's English. And we want to capture that opportunity to say that we understand your issue and still serve them in a standard spoken language of English, of course. But we want to be able to capture those things in a conversation and not have them in a frustrated loop. I think that's the biggest pain point to customer service in Jamaica. Customers are brought in loops over and over and over, and they never get to the solution they need. And we want to shift that paradigm.
And what are, for those companies that have used your or sampled, your solution, what's the feedback like?
The feedback has been pretty great. So let's talk some numbers for a bit. So we've seen a 40% increase in customer engagement in the digital channel because of that. We've seen reduced workload by up to 65% for staff because they're not being bombarded by, I wouldn't say monotonous, but the same issues because they're not getting solved, because it's been solved the first time. And we call that first contact resolution. And we've seen a 95% increase in first contact resolution from the businesses that we've worked with so far.
I want to go to another side of it, and I know this product is great. The service that you're bringing out is excellent, but there's a lot behind just the fact that you've developed this solution. You're an engineer.
Yeah.
You graduated from university, but you had to go work in the BPO sector, not necessarily first choice, but
Yeah.
you have managed to now take that experience, the learning or the knowledge that you brought from it, and turn it into a solution for Jamaica, the Caribbean, and the world to utilize. How important is that for youngsters, coming out of college, etc.?
I think that's a great opportunity. For me, I don't call it misdirection anymore. I think it's, was my destiny to go to the BPO. A lot of people may laugh at that, but, it taught me how to be a great leader because, and I will have to say this, the leaders that I've met in the BPO are some of the best that I've ever worked with. I can talk about Christopher Lawrence, Renee, Malcolm. They've really shaped me into to understand, what it takes to be a good leader. Not just from just building the solutions and managing an account, but, really understanding what people need and build something that, they love. So from those experiences with those leaders that have really taught me how to think better, not just being book smart, but understanding what people really need and provide them with solutions to solve those problems. And I pay homage to them every single time. I really, really appreciate what they've done for me coming up.
BPO, technology, digital. Jamaica has, by and large, gotten in that field on the low pay side of it. Is there, from your perspective, your look in, greater opportunity as companies like yours come along for us to attract the bigger, more expensive side, where we will get a better remuneration from BPO?
I mean, there is a great opportunity for that, especially as it relates to back office related work. Yes, some of it can be automated, but you will need persons who have a very keen eye for details to do audits, etc. And I think that's where the higher remuneration will come from. And I think it comes with the fact that, the staff needs to be upskilled. So there is a training portion to that you will have to facilitate to get those new skills to be able to get into that, higher remuneration bracket. And I think that the BPO does provide those facilities, for staff to graduate from, the basic tier 1 level support to a more senior position. I myself started out as an agent, so I can say testament to that. I went through the ranks, so I know that the opportunity is there. But you have to be coachable. I think that's the most important thing.
We've seen a lot of technology startups, digital startups in Jamaica. You're now in that field, but India is the big place. Silicon Valley is big. Can we compete?
We definitely can compete. Here's why. I've been to the University of West Indies and then look at my classmates, and I believe they're some of the best minds in this region. I think given the opportunities, they can excel. Why India is so good is because everybody thinks it's cheap labor, which is a part of the factor, and because they get so many opportunities to compete. But if given the opportunities here locally, then the local players will have to step up. Because why do we import so much technology when we have great minds here, I would say myself among them, that can contribute to greater economic standing from a technology standpoint?
AI, where is that going?
Let's start let's start at the point where if you're not in the AI race yourself, you're going to get left behind. And I think that's the crucial starting point. Can we look at our businesses here locally and determine where in the business we can address certain, how should I say this now, tasks that are low-hanging fruit that we can automate with AI, so that we can put human beings on more complex tasks that will require their creativity and ingenuity to step up. That's where AI comes in. Take away those boring tasks that really bog staff down correct, and ensure that they can focus on more creative tasks that really challenges their complexity so that they can get into those remuneration brackets that we mentioned earlier. I think that's the goal. As with Chatflow, as I said, our goal is to augment your customer service staff internally so that they can focus on more complex issues while AI handles the tier 1 stuff. We can get to tier 3, tier 4, but in terms of customer support. But I think really and truly, the tier 1 related matters can be automated to a point so that human beings can intervene whenever they need to. And I think that's the secret sauce.
How big is this market that you're looking to target for your business? I mean, yes, Jamaica is terrible at customer service. Can you saturate Jamaica? And if you do that, the rest of the region an open field for you?
So, good point. The global market is growing at a 31.2% CAGR, and that's going to explode around 407 billion US in 2032. But let's zone in and look at Jamaica and this region specifically. According to World Bank, there are around 70% of Caribbean businesses, around 1.17 million, which, looking at our average cost of product, would equate to around 3.59 billion in terms of total addressable markets. We're looking at 8% of that, and that represents a $72 million annual recurring revenue for us, and that's around 34,000 medium to large enterprises that fit our criteria. World Bank also says these businesses are poised to move in and improve their, how should I put this now, digital transformation journey in the next 1 to 2 years. So looking at that data, I think that's a great opportunity for Chatflow, being a first mover in the space. Again, I'm not worried about competition. They have a lot of learning to do, and if they've never been to the BPO before, then hopefully they'll get some opportunity to play catch up. But
you just ran off some numbers a while ago. I'm looking for the paper.
There's no paper.
But you're saying essentially that it's level playing field, and you and Chatflow really here to disrupt the customer service space in Jamaica.
That is our objective.
And the businesses should get themselves ready.
Yes, definitely they should, because it's far too long that we've heard our Jamaican brothers and sisters cry out about poor customer service. No one is doing anything, so I'm stepping in. I'm stepping up, if you should say.
Final words from you. Talk to the public about why companies should engage Chatflow.
Well, Jamaica, I think the most important thing for us is that we need to shift the paradigm. We've exported great customer service through our BPO. It's touted as the best, as noted by Nearshore America. As a Jamaican myself, I'm creating an opportunity not just to create jobs internally for persons in STEM, but to also improve our customers' journey locally. And it's a great opportunity not just improve the customer experience, it's to build loyalty and trust with your consumers, because now you'll have an opportunity where, one, the customers can get the satisfaction they need and know that their issues will be resolved timely.
Absolutely great way to end the program. Micheal, I'm looking forward to bringing you back here when you list the company on the Jamaica Stock Exchange.
Definitely.
That's why we do this program. I couldn't have said it better myself. Customer service in Jamaica is about to experience a new revolution. Chatflow, Micheal is taking it there. That's why we say every day, we give you information to make better financial decisions. Come back with us tomorrow morning at 9. Another great program lined up for you.